What's up, guys? It's Pride here, and today I want to tackle the mystery behind the crazy power amp that Kakashi got during the Great Ninja War arc in Naruto Shippuden. You see, a lot of people go over the topic by basically saying that Kakashi got that strong, mainly because of plot, that the story needed Kakashi to counter Obito. And for the record, I do agree that the story did need Kakashi to counter Obito. Obito was insanely strong and too busted to really be reasonably beat without Kakashi. However, I don't agree that's the only reason that Kakashi got that strong. I think there are a couple of good reasons for Kakashi's sudden growth in power, and there's also a major factor that kind of ties it all together and makes it so that way Kakashi can actually spam Kamui, which was the biggest issue. Now, to help y'all understand where I'm coming from when explaining this, we first need to go through the ups and downs of Kakashi's life real quick, and then a little bit over his powers. But before we do any of that, just know that this theory is not 100% confirmed. This is a theory. So agree or disagree, we can talk about it in the comment section. And while we're at it, if you guys like the video and subscribe, I'll very much appreciate it. Now, with that lead up out of the way, let's truly understand the power held by Kakashi of the Sharingan. Kakashi Hatake had a very tough life growing up. The downhill slope pretty much started when Kakashi found his dad no longer alive. Kakashi's dad took his own life because he was shamed for protecting his comrades over the mission. Kakashi took that as a lesson to never put anything before the mission. That was until his new teammates, namely Obito, taught Kakashi that you should always put your team first and do everything you can for your team. Sadly, Obito was the next to fall. Kakashi got a new eye from it, and due to the kindness and the friendship that Obito showed Kakashi, Kakashi decided to keep moving on with his life and protect Rin. That didn't last too long though, for Rin eventually dies too, and at Kakashi's own hands, no less. This obviously put him in a downward spiral of depression, where all he did was regular missions, distanced himself from everybody, and kept it moving. Minato saw this and decided to try to help out by giving Kakashi a mission that should have been relatively easy, aka successfully protecting Kushina while she was pregnant with Naruto. Now, we all know how that ended. That mission failed, and Kakashi again went into depression. And that's pretty much Kakashi's life before Naruto, the anime, officially started. That's pretty much all the important things anyway. Now we move on to Kakashi's Sharingan. We first see this when Kakashi fights against Zabuza, and he activates the Sharingan pretty much for the first time. Kakashi displays pretty much in this one fight every ability that every Sharingan user has. Busted abilities like movement tracking to the point where it seems like one can see the future. Copying abilities, where it's how Kakashi got his name handle, Kakashi of the Thousand Jutsus, or the copycat ninja. And Kakashi even shows us the subtle genjutsu to the point where even Zabuza didn't know that he was under genjutsu until it was too late. All three of these things, tracking, copying, and powerful genjutsu, are all special traits of the Sharingan, especially a fully matured Sharingan, which Kakashi has. You can see this because he has 3 tomos in his eye, meaning there's only one step past that, which is the Mangekyou Sharingan. Before we talk about the Mangekyou Sharingan, we must first talk about how right after the Zabuza fight, Kakashi shows us the major drawbacks it takes for him, or not every Sharingan user, but Sharingan users who are not originally Uchiha. After Kakashi uses his Sharingan in this one fight for me, a very relatively short time, Kakashi is out of commission for about a week. Kakashi also has this drawback when he activates his Mangekyou Sharingan, or MS for short, when he's fighting against Deidara. He also activates Kamui for the very first time. Kamui is pretty much a space-time no jutsu where you can long distance teleport things via visual prowess into a special type of dimensional plane only accessible to other people that has Kamui, or if you have some other way of traveling against dimensions, which is very rare in Naruto. The next time Kakashi uses Kamui, he uses it twice against Pain, and on the second time, the drawback is so severe that Kakashi dies. And then we fast forward all the way into the last Great Ninja War arc. Kakashi is able to use his MS, Kamui, and other high-level jutsus in succession, and apparently there's no drawback. Now, this got a lot of people thinking, what's going on? Now, again, I think I understand the reason for what's happening here. I have 3 main reasons for why Kakashi seemingly got so strong and can handle his visual prowess so much better out of nowhere. The first 2 reasons a lot of people already know about, but the third one I haven't seen anyone touch on, and for me it makes the most sense, and I think it's almost the most important one. So let's go over them. Reason number 1 is the easiest and simplest explanation: he trained. You see, early Kakashi, the one fighting Zabuza, in my opinion, was a little bit rusty. I say this because we all know that Kakashi took a step back from doing high level missions and fighting against high level opponents in order to find another team and train them. And we all know that Kakashi never actually took in another team until Team 7, where Naruto and the gang are there. But we know that before even Naruto started, Kakashi was a badass growing up. He was a cold-blooded killer and the leader of the Anbu at one point. He had multiple high-class missions, and in almost every mission, he has his Sharingan active, fighting multiple opponents at once, probably for long extended periods of time. And he wasn't hiding at the fact that he had the Sharingan. And that's how he even got the name Kakashi of the Thousand Jutsus, because he just fought that long and that many people using the abilities of his Sharingan. It's fair to say that Kakashi's Sharingan powers were a little bit better when he was younger than when he was when we first see it for the first time. At some point, Kakashi started to train again. He did this because he started to realize that it was becoming harder and harder to fight certain opponents that he probably should have been able to beat pretty easily. And so he started to incorporate his own training whenever he wasn't training the team. By the time the war starts and he has his rematch with Zabuza, you can see how just vastly superior in strength Kakashi is. It's almost like night and day. Kakashi physically has surpassed early Naruto by leaps and bounds. So his combat increase makes a lot of sense. However, it doesn't explain his Sharingan. And no, I don't mean his sudden growth in the war arc. I mean how weak it was in comparison to before the war arc, but after he was a kid. As I said earlier, he was able to use his Sharingan more and longer when he was in the Anbu. So his chakra fluctuation leads me to the second reason. The second reason is Kakashi's chakra and his chakra control was vastly dampened than it was when he was in the Anbu, or a little bit before the Anbu. And the reason for this was his spirits was down. You see, Kakashi was pretty much a shell of a man. Very functionable, but everyone that he cared for and everyone that he swore to protect ended up dead. Kakashi had no will to keep going. I say all this to say, Kakashi didn't live for himself. He lived because he thought that that was the right thing to do, because everyone else died and everyone else wished for him to keep moving, and he swore that he will keep on seeing the world with the eye that Obito gave him. Kakashi pretty much was regretful for letting everybody down all the time. This weighed heavily on his soul every passing day. This is important because at one point after fighting Zabuza, Kakashi explains to Naruto and Sasuke that the way to use chakra better is by combining both body and spirit. Later, even Hagoromo said that chakra is for bonding between people, which dead Obito later reconfirms this with Rin before he comes back to help Kakashi. And you add on the fact that everyone knows that you do get mental amps in Naruto. Depending on your feelings, especially when it comes to Sharingan users, that heavily impacts how much power you're able to exert. With all of this, we can start to piece together why Kakashi Sharingan can put him out of commission. During the pain fight, Kakashi died from using too much chakra by using Kamui twice. At this stage, even though he was getting stronger from training and being with Team 7, which was slowly uplifting him and, lightening his mood, he still could only use Kamui once safely. And that's how much of a cost it was for him. So after using it twice, he capped out. Now, I have an inside joke with my friends when it comes to anime, and basically the saying goes, stealth isn't a nerf, it's a buff. And Kakashi proves this all the way because one, Kakashi saved someone with his dying breath. And not only that, he saved someone who had more information that could possibly save the village and his own pupil Naruto, which was a great hope for him, and he died knowing that he successfully did just that. Two, he got closer with his dad by telling his dad everything that happened throughout Kakashi's life, and Kakashi's dad being proud of him for all the things that he managed to do before dying. It had a huge impact on Kakashi spiritually. So when Kakashi came back, he was pretty much a new man. Like I said before, for a lot of people, these two reasonings being Kakashi trained a lot and he now has a peaceful mind, these two reasonings make sense for why Kakashi was able to spam Kamui later in the show. But really, it only explains Kakashi's combat skills, not the Kamui spam, which is where my third reason comes into play. And my third reason being simply, it was Obito. Let me explain. You see, when Kakashi was spamming Kamui over and over again, Obito was always near Kakashi in almost every scene. There was maybe a few times where Obito wasn't around, but during those times where Obito wasn't around, Kakashi didn't spam it as much. In fact, he probably used it once or twice and then stopped using it. But when he was around Obito, fighting him or being side by side with him, helping each other, they were using it like mad. I came to this theory because when I first went through the Sharingan for another video that I was doing, I found the scene where Madara explains to Obito that the MS true power can't be achieved unless there's a pair of them. And by the way, this is coming from a man that can tell the patterns of someone's Sharingan just from their movement. So it's fair to say that Madara's word in the subjects of the Sharingan is pretty much law. And I think this conversation between Madara and Obito was the author's way to hint about Kakashi's sudden effectiveness with Kamui. I say this because this conversation is right after Obito's face reveal. And during this conversation where Madara states that in order to use MS's true power, you have to have a pair, Obito immediately envisions him and Kakashi working side by side, being an almost unstoppable duo because they'll be able to use the Sharingan in conjunction with each other because they'll always be fighting together. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's a reach. Kid Obito probably took it the wrong way, and Madara probably didn't mean it like that. And I would agree with you if we didn't actually see it play out. When Kakashi and Obito worked together, Kamui was even more powerful than when they were separate or when they were just near each other. They were able to use it in conjunction to make it faster and arguably make it cost less chakra, so they would use it even more when they were able to fend off against Jinchuriki Madara that could easily beat both of them separately. And I'll finish the video after saying this. When Kakashi and Obito fuse, or whatever happened here, DMS Kakashi rose up to equal ranks with Sei's Path Naruto and Sasuke. And some people would even argue that Kakashi did better and was stronger than Naruto and Sasuke. This is a man that has no more regret weighing him down. In a true DMS, for the first and last time, the real power of Kakashi of the Sharingan was realized.